All right, what's going on, guys? Cryo Archive just released this week, and I'm looking to bring to you guys a full comprehensive guide on the map, how to exfil, how to do all vaults, and of course, kill the final boss. I'm going to give you guys all the intricate details, all the mechanics, and pretty much everything you need to know to conquer this very difficult map. Overall, I think this map is great. I think you all should try and play this map with the squad. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first mechanic I'll introduce is your security clearance level. Now you're going to need security clearance to open different level doors, activate exfils, and interact with scan monitors. Now there are two ways to increase your security clearance level. The first is to look for security tags across the map, which progress your clearance level by 1 bar each. The second is to interact with hack terminals, which increase your clearance level by 3 bars each. Security tags can be found on UESC commanders. They will always have one. They can also be found as ground loot. And then also in the lower tier UESC commander bodies. You can see here I get 2 in a row, which is crazy. And then finally, you can loot wardens across the map. Typically they drop 3 to 2. One pro tip I would suggest is if you bring a thief, it makes getting security tags in the middle very easy. So you're going to want to check the desks with the monitors on them, and then also the shelves on the side. In addition, you can check the rooms behind the monitors with the glass. And so a big reason why you want to get at least level 2 clearance as quick as possible is so that you can make rotates throughout the map very easily. And with the amount of stack teams going into Cryo, being able to rotate around the map without having to go through middle is super useful to avoid fights if needed. So now that you know how to increase your clearance level, let's talk about what each level unlocks. So at clearance level 1, you're able to interact with scan monitors, which ping different items and objectives in your area. Now the range of this scan depends on your clearance level. The higher your level, the wider the area it will scan. Furthermore, the items pinged by the scan monitor also depends on your clearance level. So at level 1, you'll only be able to see batteries, which are needed for opening vaults and filling up empty cryo coolants. Next, at level 2, your scan will ping nearby hack monitors. And finally, at level 3, your scan will ping exfil stations. Now, these exfil stations look very similar to the hack monitors and require level 3 clearance to interact with. Once calling in the exfil, you'll need to look for a guarded exfil icon on the map and head there. Despite the guarded exfil icon, you can treat it as a normal exfil with no enemies. And note that you're the only team that can see the location on the map, although other teams can still hear the exfil spawn in if close enough. Now, it can be very easy to get lost on your way to the exfil if you're just learning the map. So a simple way to never get lost is to go to the middle of the map and enter the door leading to the POI with your exfil. That way you can take the most direct path to the exfil without getting lost in any side rooms or tunnels.
Yeah, we're over. It's just, I'm gonna leave the fucking game, bro. I'm not even gonna bother.
Let's see what happens, I don't know. Finally, I should mention that Cryo does have a last chance final exfil. However, I believe its location is random and does not appear on the map. So your best bet is to probably hang around middle and listen for the audio of it spawning.
I'm getting railed.
On me! On me! It's right here! I swear! On me!
It is.
So as you can see, we got really lucky here with this final exfil spawn. Compared to the final exfil spawns on perimeter, dire, and outpost, this final exfil spawns in 2 UESC commanders to get in your way, so be prepared. Just hope you don't get knocked out of the final exfil zone though, like us.
Insane.
That's a huge... Oh my gosh, good job, guys.
Wait, what?
We got booped out.
What?
Wrong com. Wait, no.
No, I guess not. Shifting the focus back to security clearance for the final time, let's talk about the different doors you can unlock depending on your clearance level. So at clearance level 1, you'll be able to open these closet rooms which can contain a security tag, battery, or even an empty cryo coolant pod. Next, at clearance level 2, you will gain access to what I call rotation doors, which allow you to drastically improve your maneuverability and positioning throughout the map. You'll now be able to travel from POI to POI without going through the middle of the map, which can allow you to avoid PvP on valuable key runs, or hit a flank on a team pinning you down. No, let's go through here.
Oh, right here.
We're there.
Oh, yeah. We're at. Nading.
I'm healing.
Nading the fuck
Down,
out
down,
of
down,
him.
down, down. That's both.
That's, yep.
Exactly where it is.
Next, at clearance level 3, you gain access to special security rooms with strong boxes, more security tags, batteries, purple salvage, and more. I'm also 90% sure that when you open a strongbox in these rooms, the entire lobby gets an alert that a security breach has been detected, so watch out for that. Level 3 clearance also allows you to take the elevator up to labs. You can also open the room at the top of the stairs in Panopticon at level 3 clearance, which contains UESC commanders, more security tags, and even hack monitors. There's also a level 3 clearance door at the bottom of the steps in Panopticon too. Before moving on to level 4 clearance doors, I wanted to show off one last door in steerage. So if you head up the stairs here and take a right, you'll find this level 3 room, which can even contain a full cryo capsule. This will be important for later when we cover all 6 vaults, so just keep this in mind. Moving on to level 4 doors, of which there are only 2 types to point out. One can be found in the hallway outside the Panopticon staircase and is a loot room. There are more strong boxes, lots of loose purple valuables, and more. The other level 4 room of significance is the lab above preservation. We'll come back to this room later when we cover how to open the vaults, but you can note that this room has a security monitor spawn and a terminal that requires a battery to take down the virus field in the area.
That disables the corruption field. Do not disable. Oh.
Okay, finally at level 5 clearance, unfortunately I don't have footage for this, but you'll be able to open a hidden cache in this frozen pit by shooting the 4 panels around the room. The cache contains a 40k contraband salvage that sells to your entire team on exfil. Alright, now that's everything you need to know about the different security clearance levels on Cryo and what each level unlocks. So with that being said, let's transition into how to complete each of the 6 vaults by quickly covering empty cryo coolant tanks, since they're a key mechanic to open each vault. Now the easiest place to find these empty tanks is in the giant pool of water in the middle of preservation. I've also seen them spawn in level 1 closets and in some bizarre corners in the other POIs, but you should treat preservation as the default place to find them. Just to reiterate from earlier, you'll need 1 battery to fully charge the cryo coolant terminal and charge your tank. I haven't yet memorized all the coolant stations on Cryo yet, but just know that there's a station under the bridge in the very center of Panopticon that is fairly safe to travel to, despite its location in the middle of the map. You can even send a solo thief or assassin on the route shown to fill up the tank safely. Alright, now we're ready to talk about vaults 1 through 6, how to open them, and the mechanics for each. First things first, you can see for yourself what items are needed to open each vault by hovering over the vault key you want to open. As you might assume, Vault 1 is the easiest to open, requiring only 5 batteries. The key description suggests you need to find a cooling capsule, but from my experience, the capsule is always in the terminal by default. When inside the vault, you'll need to find 3 monitors to interact with, which will open up the loot room. If a monitor is down in a frozen section, you'll have to shoot a panel on the wall to stop the area from freezing, which will let you interact with the monitor. Each loot room has its own gold weapon with the quote-unquote unique modifier, which prevents you from changing the weapon's equipped attachments. So the unique weapon for Vault 1 is the Gold Burt SMG. You can also find the AI subroutine for Vault 1 on this table, and has a random drop chance for each vault. If you see one, you'll want to pick it up and exfil with it, since subroutines 1 through 6 are needed to access Vault 7. Moving on to Vault 2, its location can be found within the entrance to Biostock. You'll have to find an empty cryo coolant tank, fill it at a cryo coolant station. You can actually find a station at the back of Biostock, which isn't too far out of the way from the vault entrance, and insert 5 batteries at the vault's entrance. Once inside, you'll need to defrost the room and activate 3 monitors just like you did for Vault 1. The AI subroutine for Vault 2 can be found on the left-hand side of the loot room on this workbench. Furthermore, the unique gold weapon for Vault 2 is the V99 channel rifle. For Vault 3, you won't need an empty cryo coolant tank this time, since the entrance has one inserted by default. In addition to 5 batteries, you'll also need to pick up the pump credentials from the UESC boss in preservation. You can see the location of these credentials by hitting a scan monitor, although the location never changes, so it's alright if you skip the scan and head to this location on the map. Note that when you pick up the credentials, a UESC warden will spawn in, and you'll be locked in the room until you kill the boss. After defeating the warden, head back to Vault 3, insert the batteries, and have the player with both the vault key and credentials scan themselves in front of the entrance. Once inside Vault 3, you'll need to look for the monitor showing you a sample symbol. You then need to go find the 3 monitors in the room with this symbol and interact with them to open the loot room. The subroutine for Vault 3 can be found on the right-hand side of the loot room on this workbench. Also, the unique gold weapon for this room is the Conquest LMG. Vault 4's entrance is near cargo and requires 7 batteries in total. Head to the ice storage area between cargo and index, shoot the 4 frost vents in the corners of the room to safely reach the bottom, then shoot down the drone carrying the body and loot it for the colonist's DNA vial. Take the vial to the top room in Panopticon with level 3 clearance, insert 1 battery in the vial into the terminal, defeat the UESC reinforcements, and grab the colonist credentials. Finally, head to the Vault 4 entrance, insert your remaining batteries, then have the player holding the credentials and the vault key scan in to open it. To unlock the loot room, follow the same steps as Vault 3. Find the monitor displaying the sample symbol, defrost the room, then locate the matching monitors with the correct symbol. The AI subroutine for Vault 4 can be found on the left-hand side of the loot room on this workbench, and the unique gold weapon for this vault is the V85 circuit breaker. To enter Vault 5, you're going to need 7 batteries as well as a full cryo coolant tank. You'll also need to head to this room above control to pick up the tranquility credentials. When you pick up the credentials, the room will lock and you'll have to fight a UESC warden. After defeating the boss, take their credentials over to Vault 5 entrance in the cold storage room between cargo and index, insert the full tank, the batteries, and have the player with the credentials scan in to gain access. Inside the vault, you'll once again look for the given symbol on the monitor and interact with the 3 monitors displaying the matching symbol. The AI subroutine for Vault 5 is located here on the desk in the back of the room, and the unique gold weapon is the M77 assault rifle. Now for the final vault, Vault 6. Since the Vault 6 key is the rarest in the game, I'll be mixing in some tips alongside the guide to help minimize the risk of losing it in raid. You'll need to reach level 4 clearance at some point during the run. In my experience, this is more achievable than it sounds. In one of my 2 runs with this key, we didn't even kill a single runner and we're still able to source all of the clearance, meaning you can realistically pull this off without getting into many fights. So I'd strongly recommend bringing a thief so you can rush level 2 clearance early. This lets you use the thief drone to quickly grab security tags in the middle of the map, and if you get pushed by a team, you can just fall back into the POI and lose them through the level 2 clearance rotation doors. Make sure you're exhausting every clearance source available throughout the run, i.e. UESC wardens, UESC commanders, security monitors, etc., to hit level 4 as fast as possible. Alongside clearance, you'll also need a full tank of cryo coolant and 9 batteries. Your first rotation after getting level 2 clearance should be preservation to pick up an empty coolant tank, but hold off on filling it until you have level 4 clearance. I'll explain why shortly. Once you hit level 4, head to the long ladder at the back of preservation and climb up to the level 4 office in the virus zone. Inside, memorize the order of symbols on the monitor from left to right. You'll need this to enter the vault later. Rather than heading back down the ladder, take the door toward Biostock where there's a low traffic coolant station at the back of the POI that should be uncontested. Fill your tank there, then head to the elevator near the Tranquility UESC Warden room to reach the lab. There's also a ladder next to the elevator shaft if you're paranoid. At the top, follow the route through the vent until you reach a room that needs to be breached. But be aware that breaching alerts the entire lobby, so you'll want to move quickly through the next steps. So now that you've made it to the center quad in the lab, you should immediately place the full cryo tank into the Vault 6 console, power it up with 8 batteries, and kill the Gold Shield UESC Warden. So after defeating the boss, you're going to look to input the memorized symbol sequence from earlier into matching monitors around the room. Note that you can interact with a monitor more than once. After inputting the correct code, the vault will open, and you will have to once again find the monitor with the sample symbol and activate all monitors in the vault with the matching symbol in order to unlock the loot room. The AI subroutine 6 can be found on the ground next to this small cart, and the unique gold weapon for this vault is the Strider M1T. Now just take your time getting to the final exfil, and if you make it out alive, congratulations on your run.
Holy fuck.
Now that you've obtained subroutines 1 through 6, you can now unlock DNA network access in your codex, which will allow you to reach Vault 7. To prepare for your fight against the compiler, you're going to need to bring in a DNA access card, which can be found in any vault loot room. During your run, you're going to need to work towards finding 8 batteries and reaching level 3 clearance, since at some point you'll be taking the elevator up to labs. Your first step when loading in should be to make your way to a DNA network access terminal, which you can use your DNA access key on. There should always be a network access terminal in your starting POI, so keep an eye out for it. Go ahead and interact with the terminal, wait about 40 seconds for the DNA sequencing to finish, and then a DNA sequence will drop in front of the terminal when over. You'll have to memorize the sequence of 4 letters on the item for the next step. Once the step is complete, a green shockwave effect will wash over your screen, visible to the entire lobby. A DNA sequencer will then ping on your map, so head there next. Insert the sequence, then locate the 4 small terminals with letters around the room and interact with them in the same order as your sequence. Then grab the command DNA vial and make your way up to the lab. Note once again that completing the step will trigger another green shockwave, so watch out for any teams. After you take down the breach to get into the main lab, you'll have to take out a gold-shielded UESC warden. After defeating him, take a battery over to the terminal next to the door entering the quad. You will then place the command DNA vial into this terminal here, which will cause the final green shockwave, breaking the protective glass to the room with the Vault 7 entrance. So now, after opening the vault entrance, you'll be met with a little jumping puzzle. There are some sections where you're going to have to jump across these red bars, and in the areas with the tick nests, just continue moving up. Eventually, you'll come up on this open area here, which is the room before the boss fight. There's a small room on the left that contains ammo crates, which is useful if you're low on ammo before the fight. There's also a security monitor in here, which you'll want to hit if you're close to level 5 clearance, which will be helpful for after the boss fight for extra loot. After entering the airlock, interact with this panel here, which will take you to the boss room. Now, the boss mechanics are straightforward. Have your team choose a symbol from the monitors around the room, then activate the 3 monitors displaying that symbol. If a monitor is frozen, just shoot the panel on the wall, preventing the floor from freezing. Once all 3 are activated, a green bubble will appear on the bridge, so group up inside it and shoot the compiler's chest to begin damage. And make sure you back up as you shoot, since the green blobs do a lot of damage. For loadouts, LMGs paired with a front shield are a safe option for blocking damage while sustaining fire, and the Volt Thrower is a solid pick for dealing with the blobs. The Volley Rifle and Bully are also worth considering, as I've seen them both one-phase the boss. This fight has 4 phases in total, but once the compiler is dead, loot the compiler ganglion contraband salvage from its corpse to unlock the loot room. This loot room is stacked and commonly drops gold items, including full gold weapons, cores, and more. The contraband biotoxic disinjector also drops here, a hybrid trace rifle / grenade launcher. Now, if your team has reached level 5 clearance, you can access a bonus room with 2 additional copies of the contraband weapon, and I believe an extra cache. If you're just short on clearance, check the ground of the loot room for security tags, and if you have a spare battery, there's 1 final security monitor on the far left side of the room. To exfil, either use the station inside the room on the far right side of the loot room, or head back through the airlock and find an exfil below. Just note that the airlock does not reopen once you pass through.
So peak content.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Alright, now that's everything you need to know about Cryo Archive. Hopefully this guide helped you understand how the map works, and overall, lets you feel more comfortable running this map. Personally, I really enjoy the challenge this map brings, and I'm excited to see what other Pinnacle experiences get added to the game. It's truly unlike anything else I've seen in the extraction shooter genre. Now let me know in the comments what you thought of the guide and how I can improve going forward. This was the most time-consuming guide I've made so far, so if you have any feedback on the organization or anything I could have explained better, I'd love to hear it. And with that being said, good luck, take care, and I'll see y'all in the next one.